Hello, and welcome to Transformation by Truth podcast, where the called become the chosen, and those who have been dedicated to serve the Most High receive the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as we progress our quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. My name is D.L. Anderson. I'll be your tour guide. Let's get started with today's lesson. Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast in the quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. Today, we continue to answer the question, why you should join the quest for holiness. 4 reasons why you should get on board this train. Today's podcast is entitled, The Perfect Man or Woman Inside of You. Until we all come to the unity of the belief and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, to a perfect man. Ephesians 4:13. The podcast objectives are: provide a spiritual definition of a perfection ministry, analyze what a perfection ministry is, analyze what a perfection ministry isn't, and confirm that our ministry is a perfection ministry. Now, our first section is entitled, A Perfection Ministry. Now that we have strengthened our claim that the path we are following is the path that leads to everlasting life, we must now harden our claim that we are a perfection ministry, for we have proven repeatedly that perfection is the door that leads to everlasting life. By definition, a perfection ministry is a ministry that leads men and women into the spiritual model of Yahushua Messiah, the perfect man. Along the way, each member is edified by all within the ministry, and an unbreakable alliance is formed by the unification of perfection. Now, a key phrase in this definition is the unification of perfection. This unification governs every interaction between each member of a perfection ministry, and it ensures each interaction ends in peace. This is critical for more reasons than I can tell you. Most importantly, such edification and orchestration of the Spirit insulates every perfection ministry from the kingdom of darkness. And here is why this is so important. When our enemies find room in an assembly, they will methodically tear down each member until the entire work is compromised. This is why we are taught that a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Trust me, excess drama in this case is the least of your worries. We are now talking about spiritual death and the end of your spiritual career, both of which could have been avoided if you were in a perfection ministry. Now, this does not mean that everything within a perfection ministry is perfect and there are no problems. Remember, not everyone in a perfection ministry is perfect. However, everyone in a perfection ministry is committed to achieving perfection. This is why problems and issues will be fewer and farther in between, and why they will always end in peace. It's because our dedication to the Father's will of perfection compels us to do whatever it takes to guard the ministry and to be prepared to sacrifice for the greater good. Now, our next section is entitled, What a Perfection Ministry Is. Let's continue this line of thought by analyzing what a perfection ministry is and what it isn't, beginning with the former, what a perfection ministry is by its three conceptual degrees. Here's a question. What are the 3 degrees of every conceptual model? The answer, the fundamental, focal, and critical degrees. The fundamental degree is the foundation, the focal degree is the focus, and the critical degree is the key. Now, fundamentally, a perfection ministry is established upon our transformation into the spiritual model of Yahushua Messiah. This is why you have heard me refer to this transformation repeatedly throughout the preliminary phase. As we are a perfection ministry, the foundation of our purpose is to lead men and women into this transformation. Therefore, if you desire to be transformed into the spiritual model of the perfect man, our ministry is perfect for you. The focus of a perfection ministry is the process by which we are transformed into a perfect man or woman. This is because the transformation process accounts for a greater portion of our lives. Thus, it must also account for the focal objective of a perfection ministry. The critical measure of a perfection ministry is a success at transforming men and women into the spiritual model of Yahushua Messiah. This is key for a sure reason that I will offer as an interest point. There is a perfect man or woman inside of everyone who has been called. The goal of every true ministry, then, should be to gradually unlock this transcendent version of each of us and certify our election into everlasting life. My dear friends, every ministry that fails to achieve this critical goal is not a perfection ministry. Then again, I will not even label them as a true ministry. For if an assembly fails to minister to your greatest need, which is securing everlasting life, you're no better off than if you had simply stayed in the world. Now, our next section is entitled, What a Perfection Ministry Isn't. From now, I want to address some common misconceptions of a perfection ministry to ensure those of you who have been called to join us have an accurate view of who and what we are. First and foremost, a perfection ministry is not a group of perfect people. Quite the contrary. We are men and women who know we are not perfect, and we are not ashamed to admit it. Yet seeing as perfection is the door that leads to everlasting life, we are committed to achieving perfection at all costs. Unlike some, we are not in pursuit of physical perfection or some twisted version of rightness. On the contrary, the perfection we seek is in accordance with the Father's will and putting forth our spiritual best according to the word of truth he has revealed to us. Our perfection, then, is simply our ability to execute the Father's will in our life without fail by utilizing the tools and talents he has given us. And if we remain true to our practice, then we will be made perfect. Next, a perfection ministry is not exempt from enduring tests and trials and many of the troubles associated with this life. However, unlike those in the world and the church circuit, The tests, trials, and troubles we endure are part of the Father's will, and He is only allowing us to go through them because they are making us stronger. Then again, this feature is unique to Perfection Ministries. For those in the church circuit and the world are not being strengthened by crisis. They are being destroyed. We know this because the Father will not do His best for you if you will not do your best for Him. Lastly, a perfection ministry is not a group of men and women who boast of their spirituality and show off their dominion, authority, or powers. Trust me, the closer you get to the top of the pinnacle of holiness, the more humility you obtain. Likewise, everything we do is in accordance with the Father's will, and all of our tools, talents, and gifts come from Him. For that reason, why should we boast when we are nothing, and only Elohim gives the increase? To sum it all up, a perfection ministry is not a ministry that operates outside the set-apart spirit of Elohim, for He, the source of our powers, and our connection to the kingdom of heaven. Now, here is the final word. A perfection ministry is not for those who are perfect, but for those who would be perfect. Knowing this, I am making a dedicated call to everyone who is being led by the Spirit to pursue perfection in accordance with the Father's will, so that they might have everlasting life. Pinnacle of Holiness Ministries is a perfection ministry. Here you will find everything you are looking for and more. It doesn't matter to us who you are, where you come from, what you have done, or why you did it. Because ultimately, these things don't matter to the one who has called you, for He has a purpose for you in His kingdom. And if you are committed to fulfilling this purpose, our ministry is here to help you in any and every way that we can. And I promise you will find it was always true. There is a perfect man or woman inside of you. Now, here is the assignment for today. In your prayers, ask the Father to speak to you and to make it plain that it is His desire for you to join us on this quest if He has not already. If He has made it plain to you that you are to join us, that's great. In a few days, we will provide you with the opportunity to sign up for this quest. Until then, continue to tune into each podcast and be prepared to set off as the Spirit leads us. Now, here's what's next. We completed today's podcast, The Perfect Man or Woman Inside of You. And tomorrow's podcast is The Most Comprehensive Model of Holiness. Now, if you are a member and have questions, please click the Q&A box underneath the video player. Likewise, if you have comments you want to share with the group, please share those in the comment box located beneath the Q&A box. Now, if you're not a member, you have questions about today's podcast, feel free to contact us via our website at www.pinnacleofholiness.com and use the form on our contact page, and we will respond to you as soon as we can. And thank you for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Remember to tune in with us every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't already, visit us at www.pinnacleofholiness.com www.pinnacleofholiness.com and make sure you sign up to join the quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life 2022.